Good afternoon. My name is Staff Sergeant James Duke, and I'm joined today by Captain Alex Lagranzo. Today we're going to talk about the Psychological Operations Regiment, what the requirements are for submitting a packet in order to attend POAS, or Psychological Operations Assessment and Selection, what to expect at selection, what the qualification course entails, and a day in the life of a PSYOP soldier. A little bit about me. I've been in the PSYOP Regiment for about 6 years now, most of which have been spent at the 7th PSYOP Battalion. Before I joined PSYOP, I was a 92 Fox Petroleum Supply Specialist with deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. Since being in PSYOP, I've deployed twice to the continent of Africa, and currently I work at the Special Operations Recruiting Battalion as a PSYOP recruiter.
Thanks for that introduction, Sergeant Duke. I'm Captain Alex Lagranzo, and I started out as an infantry officer out in 4th Infantry Division, 1st Stryker Brigade, before joining the PSYOP Regiment. And for the last 2 years, I've served as in the 8th PSYOP Group and 9th PSYOP Battalion, where we supported special missions units. I was afforded the opportunity to deploy to Afghanistan as a JSOC augmentee for 5 months, where I ended up being the only PSYOP officer in country, working closely with the Ranger Regiment. Now I am working in the 8th PSYOP Group as the outreach recruiter in OIC.
So a little bit about what we're looking for in a good PSYOP candidate. Someone who is adaptive, critical thinker, someone who is creative regardless of the type of mission they're given, someone who is ready to live and operate at a higher standard and live by the soft truths, imperatives, and values.
If you like working with talented, intelligent, and dedicated people to solve complicated problems, crave autonomy, and want to be given trust, space, and responsibility to accomplish your mission as you see fit, and are ready to carry more than just your own weight, and are ready to contribute to a team of like-minded professionals, then you should absolutely join our ranks.
So, if you're an enlisted soldier and you're currently serving on active duty, you must meet the following requirements. You must be in the ranks of Private First Class through Sergeant non-promotable. However, Privates E1 and E2, Sergeants promotable, and Staff Sergeants can apply with a waiver. Should have no more than 10 years combined active federal service time, which is waivable. Possess a General Technical or GT score of 100 or better, and you got to score a 210 or higher with a minimum of 60 points in each event on the Army Physical Fitness Assessment, which is 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. You also have to be eligible for a secret clearance.
You must also be able to complete a 12 to 18-mile road march with at least a 35-pound rucksack at a 15-minute pace per mile. Have a DLAB score of 75 or higher, which is non-waiverable. Be Airborne qualified or willing to volunteer for Airborne training. And you must have 36 months of service remaining upon completion of the qualification course, and only 30 days remaining on your contract in order to attend the Psychological Operations Assessment and Selection. Have no UCMJ actions within 24 months of attending PSYOP Assessment and Selection, which is waiverable.
All right, if you're planning on joining the Army and pursuing a career in psychological operations, then you got to meet these requirements. For regular Army, applicants must qualify and attend airborne training. Score a 240 on the Army Physical Fitness Test with a minimum of 60 in each event. Have a General Technical or GT score of 105 or higher, and score 75 or higher on the Defense Language Aptitude Battery. Also, regular Army applicants are required to meet the qualifications for 31 Bravo Military Police and attend the Military Police One Station Unit Training, or OSIT, prior to attending the PSYOP Preparation and Conditioning Course, or POP-C. After POP-C, candidates will attend PSYOP Selection and Assessment and the Basic Leader Course, and subsequently the PSYOP Specialist Course, formerly known as the Qualification Course.
PSYOP entry training and qualification is a 43-week program at the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Soldiers must first pass the Psychological Operations Assessment and Selection before entering the qualification course. The selection course is designed to test candidates for their suitability as psychological operations soldiers. This is a 10-day course that will test their psychological, intellectual, and physical aptitude all at the same time. Candidates will be expected to undergo intense physical fitness, psychological assessments, and individual, as well as team problem-solving exams. Upon successful completion of the selection and assessment, you will begin the PSYOP qualification course for officers and PSYOP specialist course for enlisted. For those individuals that have not completed the Basic Leader course, or BLC, you will attend the RSOF BLC. All other candidates will begin their training with the PSYOP introduction course.
All right, after successfully passing assessment selection, soldiers will move on to the Psychological Operations Specialist course. They will learn the core operational abilities required of PSYOP soldiers, including foreign language training, tactical military intelligence, and cultural analysis. The training pathway has several courses and lasts about 43 weeks.
This course consists of the following phases. Phase 1 is orientation. Phase 2 is the PSYOP Qualification course for officers and PSYOP Specialist course for enlisted. Phase 3, 4, and 5 are currently in development and will be implemented in the future, but they are each 3 weeks long. And the last week is the PSYOP Pathway Graduation. Upon graduation, students will continue the RSOF language training for up to 25 weeks.
All right, once you graduate from the Q course, you will be assigned to one of 5 regional battalions, depending on the control language that you learn in the qualification course. I'm a French speaker, so all of my time in PSYOP was in the 7th PSYOP Battalion. In my experience, a typical day in PSYOP consisted of PT as a team or as a detachment, and work call was generally around 09, depending on training requirements and what training cycle you're in. For instance, all of USAREC is on a 2-to-1 dwell ratio with regard to deployment, meaning you deploy for 6 months and then you're home for 12 months. During my operational deployment to Africa, I spent 6 months working in the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi, Kenya. A typical day there consisted of briefing the country team on current operations, the future operations, and how my team was supporting the initiatives set forth by the U.S. ambassador. For the initial 6 months, once you return from your deployment, you're in what's called the individual training cycle. So you're attending training that will enhance your capabilities as an individual. Schools such as non-commissioned officer, professional development, jump master, seer, and a multitude of other unique school opportunities that are available in the PSYOP Regiment. After the initial 6 months, you will go into what we call pre-mission training. This consists of team-level training to include those schools that will enhance your capabilities as a team, and then you'll go into your company certification and battalion validation before you go out the door on deployment.
As a detachment commander in the PSYOP Regiment, you get to pick and choose what your detachment does for its pre-mission training and on a daily basis. Leading up to your detachment's deployments, you can attend a variety of educational schools, such as an irregular warfare course taught by the Joint Special Operations University, or physical defensive driving course due to your team's area you'd be operating in. There's a plethora of schools to choose from that will be beneficial to you and or your team. When I deployed to Afghanistan, I made sure my team was spun up on all regional aspects and influence actors we might run into out there. And it was my responsibility to be the subject matter expert from a psychological standpoint for the Special Operations Joint Task Force Commander and the Ranger Regiment Commander, who I briefed multiple times on a daily basis. And at this time, we'll be fielding some of your questions out there. And there are none.
It looks like we don't have any questions. So I'll go over real quick a couple of questions that I get typically from candidates asking how do they prepare for assessment selection, what the qualification course, what the physical requirements are for that. So the minimum requirements for dropping a packet to a 10 selection is a 210 with 60 in each event. However, that's not going to get you selected. You should have a much higher PT test score to get selected. I tell candidates to shoot for around a 240 to a 270 to be competitive, and rucking 3 miles in under about 3 hours.
Yeah.
But those are generally the most common questions that we get in the recruiter station. So if you have more questions or you want more information, you can go on goarmysoft.com, or you can just contact your local SORB recruiter. Thanks for watching.
Have a good day.
Soldiers.